The privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. Carl Jung said that. And today I'm going to show you why you've been wasting that privilege by living in fear of rejection. Give me some of your time and I'll destroy your fear of rejection. Not with affirmations, not with techniques, but by showing you that you've been living a lie so pathetic that Jung would call it psychological death. And if you can handle the truth without running away like a coward, if you can sit in that chair while I rip the bandages off your wound, then something in you will die today. And what will be born won't be an improved version. It will be you, the real you, that you buried alive to please strangers. Jung didn't write for the weak. He didn't write for those who want comfort. He wrote for those who were sick of living on their knees, for those who realized no one was coming to save them, and finally had the courage to stand up. And if you've reached that point, if you're sick of crawling, of begging for crumbs of approval, then listen carefully, because in 11 minutes, you'll understand why Jung knew that the fear of rejection is a prison you built yourself. You wake up and the first thing you do is check who validated you during the night. How many likes? How many messages? How much proof that you exist? Congratulations, you turned your self-worth into an algorithm. Jung would call this living a provisional life, always waiting for approval to exist. You go to work and don't say what you think because the boss might not like it. You go to happy hour and laugh at stupid jokes to be accepted by the group. You go home and tell the mirror how brave you were today. What a joke. You weren't brave. You were an actor playing what Jung called a persona, a mask designed to survive, not to live. You know why you fear rejection. Because at some point in your pathetic life, you decided that strangers' opinions matter more than your own sanity. Jung knew this. He saw how people handed control of their lives to those who didn't even remember their names. You contort yourself, edit yourself, emotionally mutilate yourself to fit into the box of what's acceptable. And you know what you achieved with that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because even when they accept you, it's not you they're accepting. It's your performance. Jung understood that this isn't relationship. It's theater. And you feel it eating at you inside, don't you? That anger you can't explain, that urge to scream that you swallow, that feeling that you're dying while alive. Jung called this neurosis, the price of betraying who you really are. Let me tell you something that will destroy you. Remember the last time someone rejected you. Remember how it hurt. But it wasn't the rejection that hurt. It was you agreeing with it. It was you looking in the mirror and confirming, yes, they're right, I really am trash. Jung would say you were projecting your own self-rejection. The person who rejects you has no power over you. The power is in your submission. Every time you accept rejection as a verdict on your worth, you become an accomplice to your own execution. Jung knew that most people reject themselves before others even have the chance. Want to know something even worse? The fear that paralyzes you isn't even yours. It's a cursed inheritance from your parents, your grandparents. Jung discovered that we carry the unlived traumas of previous generations, generations of cowards who preferred to be invisible rather than risk being rejected. And you inherited this shit like it was DNA. Your father, who swallowed humiliations his whole life to keep his job. Your mother, who erased herself so as not to bother anyone. You grew up watching this and thought that's how you live. Like cattle. Like a servant, like nothing. Jung called this living the unlived life of ancestors. You're 30, 40, 50 years old and still asking permission to exist like you're a 5-year-old child. But you're not a child. You can pay your bills. You can choose where you live. You can tell anyone to go to hell. But you don't, because you're still trapped in the cage you built in childhood. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you kill yourself a little. Every time you laugh at what offends you, you spit in your own face. Every time you pretend to be happy when you're getting screwed, you collaborate in your own murder. Jung understood that this is self-betrayal in its purest form. You know why no one respects you? Why they step on you? Why they treat you like a doormat? Because you taught them to do it. You showed them that your dignity is for sale, that your boundaries are suggestions, that you'll accept anything as long as they don't abandon you. Enough. Stop explaining your choices to imbeciles. Stop justifying yourself to those who don't deserve even your silence. Stop begging for acceptance like it's charity. Jung said that the man who cannot command himself will be commanded by others. But then comes the crying. What if I stop pleasing everyone? What if they don't like me? What if I'm alone? Great! Better alone being real than accompanied being fake. Jung knew it's better to be hated for who you are than loved for who you're not. People who reject you for being authentic do you the biggest favor of your life. They remove themselves voluntarily. They save years of your existence. Rejection isn't punishment, it's a gift. Jung saw this as a natural filter, separating those who can handle your truth from those who can't. And now I'm going to break you completely. The person you're desperate to impress doesn't know you. They know your mask, your censored version, your persona manufactured for mass consumption. Jung understood that you're afraid of losing approval from someone who doesn't even know who you really are.
It's pathetic. It's like being afraid of disappointing a movie character, like worrying about a ghost's opinion. You're living an entire life based on a relationship that doesn't exist with people who don't matter. Want to know who you really are? It's who shows up when no one is watching. When you're alone, without mask, without performance, without audience. Your unfiltered thoughts, your instinctive reactions, your unedited opinions. Jung called this the self, the real you behind all the masks. But you're so afraid of showing that person that you created a substitute, a well-behaved puppet, a politically correct version of who you could be if you didn't have the courage to be who you are. Jung would say you're living a collective lie. Freedom begins when you decide you'd rather be hated being real than loved being fake. When you speak your truth without calculating reactions. When you live by your values, not others' expectations. Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you really are. Real people attract real people. When you stop lying, you attract those who don't lie. When you show your scars, you attract those who don't hide theirs. When you're complicated, you attract those who can handle complication. Jung knew that authenticity is magnetic. And it will be brutal. It will be lonely. It will be misunderstood. And you know what? So what? Better a real and difficult life than a fake and easy one. Jung understood that the path of individuation is always lonely at first. Rejection doesn't measure your worth, it measures compatibility. When someone rejects you, they're saying one thing only: we don't match. Valuable information. It saves you from wasting decades trying to force fit where there isn't one. Jung saw rejection as information, not punishment. You didn't come here to be accepted by everyone. You came to find your people, the crazy ones who see your intensity and want more, the different ones who see your strangeness and feel at home, the rare ones who can handle who you really are. But as long as you're hiding behind a mask, you'll never find them. As long as you're performing for the masses, you'll never attract your tribe. As long as you're being safe, you'll never be real. Jung knew you can't find your tribe by being fake. So stop asking permission to exist. Stop apologizing for having personality. Stop editing your truth to fit others' taste. Choose to be respected, not liked. Choose to be remembered, not forgotten. Choose to be real, not safe. Because in the end, everyone dies. Everyone turns to dust. But not everyone lives. Most just exist. They go through life without ever having the courage to be who they really are, without ever having risked rejection for the possibility of true connection. Jung said that the privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. But you can't become who you are while you're busy being who others want you to be. The two paths are incompatible. You listened this far? That means something in you is ready to stop crawling, ready to rise from the position of subject and claim the throne that was always yours, ready to tell the fear of rejection to go to hell and start living for real. There's no going back. Now you know. Jung showed you the way. You can't pretend you didn't hear. You can't go back to living on your knees. The cage is open. The chains are broken. You're free to be dangerous again. Use that freedom. Abuse it. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. See you soon.